Hi everybody, Doug Davis at Cowtown, and we're here today with Bill Cooper to discuss CanAm Defender. It's been CanAm's #1 seller over the past year. A lot of reasons why. It's been a very, very good machine for us here. We live in a perfect country for this CanAm Defender. We hunt, we fish, we farm, we garden, we do lawn work, landscape. This dude will handle it all. Easy to drive, just about any age group can drive it, older to younger. Very safe machine, very cheap to own, easy to service. But we're going to talk about this machine a little bit today and just some features that are on it. Anyway, to start off with, this is an HD8 CanAm Defender. It is a 50 horsepower machine. It is an XT model, meaning it comes with a winch from the factory, as you can see. But we did some extras on it here too. We've put a very nice front brush guard on the machine. We've also installed a front rack on the machine with a quick link system, which is very handy. You can put gun racks up here. We have a basket rack that fits right on here. Everything snaps on, no tools. Now this does have a hard coat windshield on it. Now we found over the past year or two or three that we're getting a lot better service out of the hard coat type windshields, and the reason is on the outside coating, the windshield actually is an automotive style coating over it, so it's a very hard surface. A lot of the windshields we've used in the past have been a plexi or a poly type windshield, and they're very easy to scratch up. You know, if you get some mud or debris on them and tried to wipe them off with a paper towel or even a cloth towel, it would scratch the windshields. This windshield is much more durable, and as you can see, due to the way they make the Defender, the windshield sits flush in here because they've cut the roll cage out, so the accessories, as you can see the lip here, will set in flush. So everything looks like it's supposed to be there, no clamps holding things on. I mean, the windshield snaps in with 3 clasps over here. It's in or out. Pretty easy done. All right, now this is the dash in a CanAm XT Defender. Now, the XT version has a storage compartment up here. Now the other Defenders do have the storage compartment, but they do not have a lid on them. So this one comes with a lid, so if you need to stow your wallet, any paperwork, or anything else in here, decent storage right there, easy to get to. The shifting on the machine is excellent. It's very easy to maneuver, or to operate I should say. We do have a high and low range transmission. Now also on the XT version, now you can see the digital part of the gauge here. Now the base model and the DPS models have all digital gauge. Now the XT model comes with the digital plus the manual or analog speedometer and tachometer. So it's got a better gauge system than a standard Defender has. Okay, now these are switches here on the CanAm Defender. They're again XT model. Now the XT model in particular does have a 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive switch, but it also has a locking rear differential. Now this works like a tractor. With that differential locked, both back wheels will pull evenly, no limited slip. Now the reason they've made it able to turn off the rear differential, when I unlock the rear diff, it is running on one rear tire. Now the advantage to that is if you're working in your yard and you're making sharp turns, backing in there dumping mulch or something, with the differential locked in and both tires pulling equally, it can do what's called turf scuff, or tear up the turf in your yard when you make a turn. So by making it a one-wheel drive in the wheel, we don't get turf scuff in your yard and whatnot. Now here's another very, very good feature available on the XT model. We have 3 modes here. We have an econo mode, a driving mode, and a work mode. Now these do some neat options for you. The econo mode is kind of like driving with a governor. Not a bad thing. It is more fuel efficient, but it definitely governs the machine a little bit. So if you got a younger person riding it or inexperienced, run it on econo. It does have a normal driving mode, but it also has what's called a work mode. The work mode does a couple of things. For one, it does give it more power, but also if you're driving even across a hayfield where the tractors have rutted it up for over several years, when the machine starts bouncing, a lot of times your foot bounces with it, and you're often on the throttle even slightly, you'll feel a surge in the machine. The work mode will take some of the sensitivity out of this throttle pedal, so as if you're bouncing around, the machine will stay at a steady pace. That is a very nice feature for something you're riding in rough country. Now these two switches here are simply headlights, off, low beam, and high beam. So we do have the availability to turn these off and on with a switch. A lot of ATVs and UTVs, that is done through the key. This one actually has a separate switch for it, which I like. Now another thing, this operates your winch here. This is your winch switch. We're still inside of the machine here. Now one very nice feature we've added, this is a very nice inside mounted gun rack on the CanAm Defender. No better way to haul your guns. You can see them, they're safe, you can get a hand on them while you're driving if they're bouncing around too much, but it really keeps your guns nice and stable. It's a good platform for your guns. Can't beat this in my opinion. Now, on CanAm Defender, there again, we're still in the cockpit area. We do have an armrest with cup holders and a little storage place here, but we can certainly use this for a center seat by folding this up. You can sit there, or we can flip these seats up. Now this gives us a lot of floor room in the machine, and in the XT model we have an extra toolbox right here. So this comes with the machine. You can take it in or out. You can keep all kinds of gear in there, hunting gear, gardening gear, anything that you know, mole traps. I got one lady says, well, that's where I keep my mole traps. Well, that's a heck of a good idea. So anyway, once we open up this floor area, this is one sales pitch I always use. You know, if you're hauling wood, for example, and you got a load of wood, you don't want your chainsaw bouncing around back there, you can put your chainsaw and your gas up here. You can close the net. It's not going anywhere. Nice and safe. I've also got some guys that haul stock dogs in here. They'll flip these seats up, put their dogs right here on the floor. Very versatile machine. Now another feature on the XT versus the other models. The XT actually has an adjustable driver's seat from the factory. So we can get the shorter or the taller people right here really easy. So adjustable driver's seat on the XT. Now also, this is an in-depth video on the XT. So the XT model comes with what's called a reinforced work seat. It's kind of a double type material. As you can see, it's more rubbery than material type. I really haven't seen any of these seats tore up yet. Their lifespan seems to be very, very good. Now one thing over most of our competition, and I'm going to hit this pretty hard, and I never thought about this until we had some customers trade in stuff and took the Defenders home. And one thing that surprised me, they bragged about more than anything, was a lot of other machines, the engine is either under the seat or they've got a storage box under the seat. The problem with that is two things. For one, you wind up with a total bench seat that is non-adjustable. So the seat comes fixed from the factory, nothing you can do about it. You can't slide it. But the other thing is, when they put a box under here, they like build a wall from here down where you can't get your feet past a certain point. So it makes the floorboard area very short in here. Now, like I said, I've really got this from customers that have traded stuff in, said it was so nice to be able to sit with one foot on the throttle and adjust your foot or your leg up under that seat. It just gives you a lot more comfort there to be able to adjust your feet, even for the driver and the passengers. Just a lot of good usable cockpit area here. And like you can see, they went one step farther. You see the shelving under here that they've put in. Now the shelving is very good. You know, you can put a lot of stuff in there, but they also have some clips here where we can put nets in here. That way you can just drop stuff in behind the nets, boxes of shells or what have you, screws. Just drop them in there and they don't slide back on you every time you go up a hill. But this is the cockpit area on a CanAm XT Defender. The XT model and the DPS model come with a removable toolbox here. So this is the second removable box the machine comes with. But you can see there's a very nice storage area here, a nice storage area up here as well. So even up on top of the dash, we got storage on top, underneath the dash, toolboxes. A lot going on in this CanAm Defender. Okay, here we are at the business end of this Defender, the bed area. Now there again, we've accessorized this one a little bit. We did put a headache rack on this machine. The reason they call it a headache rack is to keep anything from coming through the back glass of the machine and hitting you in the head and giving you a headache. So that is what this is for. If you're throwing wood and stuff in the back, Something bounces out of the bed, it won't go through the backlash of the machine. It'll hit this headache rack and keep it safe. Keep you safe. Now another feature on this headache rack, you can see these holes cut out in the headache rack itself. Now that is for CanAm's quick link system. It's not been installed on this headache rack, but I'll show you what it's capable of here. Now all CanAms, including the ATVs, all have what's called the quick link system, are capable of having the quick link system. And simply what that is, you can see in the top of the bed rails here, have a quick link. Now, I just installed a gun rack on there. Pretty easy to do. Now we can also do that up here if we install the quick link pieces. We can put any CanAm attachment that will come with a quick link up on the headache rack or anywhere on the bed we need to go. Now, speaking of the bed, they've done some really neat features here for hunting and farming. We're always hauling 5-gallon buckets, and you can clearly see they've cut out places in the bed to set a 5-gallon bucket. And I will tell you guys, they will ride in there. If you're not too rough with them, they won't turn over. I mean, they'll set in that hole just perfect. And they did put 4 tie downs in the bed for the factory as well. So plenty of areas to put buckets, to tie your gear down, install a headache rack, the quick link system. The tailgate is a very heavy duty tailgate, as you can see, and they even put cup holders in the tailgate. So at the end of the day, when you're kicking back, sitting back with your cup of coffee or your soda, sit on that tailgate. We even built you in a cup holder. Now one step farther on the quick link system, like I said, we put the front rack on this particular machine. We want to quick link something on here, it just simply sets on and installs. So easy way to store your gear. Out here on the tires and wheels, there again, this is on a CanAm Defender. It is a Maxxis Bighorn radial tire, and it does come with 14-inch black aluminum wheels. Now the Defender XT from the factory is going to come in a intense red, a pure magnesium, or camouflage. So we got 3 color options here. Now another thing I failed to mention a while ago, standard on an XT model only from the factory, it will come with the top. Now folks, we do put tops on most every one we sell. Top on one of these is not a huge upgrade to put a top on a DPS or a base model. But this is our CanAm Defender, our #1 seller for the past year. Perfect for our area, and I don't think I mentioned it, but this particular machine does have power steering. The base model will not come with power steering. The DPS model is power steering with aluminum wheels. And then the XT model covers everything else that we cover. And it does come with power steering as well. I am Doug Davis with Cowtown, USA. Please give us a call at 573-885-6300. Ask for Doug Davis or Brian Greer is the salesman over here. You can also look at us on our Facebook or our webpage at cowtownusainc.com.